Hello, everyone. My name is Luisa Martinez. I am a 30 under 30 and a Changemaker grantee for this year. I'm here to tell you a bit about Mana program and what are we doing with the funding. So the funding has allowed us to design and structure this program, which it's something very close to my heart. So I have to thank again the NAE and Wells Fargo for this opportunity. So let me tell you a bit what's the program about. So Manae is a resilience and environmental training for coffee farmers in rural Mexico. The funding will allow us to design and pilot this program to provide farmers with access to information to raise awareness about the climate change, but also with practical tools and long term plans to guarantee resilience within their communities and help mitigate environmental degradation without sacrificing livelihood assets. So, why coffee? Coffee, if you don't know this, is the second biggest commodity in the world. And I remember when I found this out, I was a bit impressed that I've been in these coffee farming communities, and I remember that yeah, most of the communities live on a daily income. Most of them fall on the bracket of $2 a day, and so it doesn't make sense that it's the biggest commodity in the world, but at the same time, the farmers are facing such a big socioeconomic exclusion. So that has sparked an interest in me in pushing towards not only yeah more fair and more sustainable production of the coffee that also helps them uh, or empowers them to have like more agency on how they trade their product. So what this program is intended to do is firstly understand the current challenges. So avoid assuming anything. We have some research from our local partners. We know that, for example, there's new fungi appearing in the crops. The changing rainy season is not allowing them to either crop the usual crops or yeah, it's just changing the crop season, which has a big impact in their livelihoods, of course, because they depend on the crop. Um, so basically, is going and understanding a bit what are they facing and co-designing with them different practical tools that can be implemented that have been implemented in different food systems or in different um, parts of the world to generate resilience, but also to mitigate. So these two things are very important. So resilience can be achieved through different like practical and yeah practical tools that allows them to adapt more fast to this changing environment. So for these we've designed and thought about some ideas, but again, well, our first trip is gonna be in January 2021. So the whole project has been pushed back a year. Everyone knows why. But so basically, it's I'll tell you a bit of some ideas that we have that we're implementing, but I guess you'll hear more about how it goes on the ground and how it changes. So firstly, composting training and a composting community center. So why what is the impact of changing from chemicals to compost? How can we do compost from what we have in the environment? So use what you already have and understand each material to understand how to work for with it to use it on the soil, right? Then also we want to understand how can you implement circular economy principles in these communities, because of course circular economy principles are very, very rich and very valuable, and of course can be very impactful on a community level. So this is of course part of a systemic level, but on a community level is I would say it's very impactful, especially in these communities that have to save as much money as they can, but also work with their land to protect the land, because they depend on the land, not just them, but their future generations. Um, so, I to put an example, I guess it's difficult without practical ideas. If not, I will just go using jargon. But um, for example, when you extract the coffee bean on green, so once it's ready and the crop is ready and you take it and you wash it, there's the water that comes out, it's full with nutrients. So this is called aguamiel, um, honey waters, I believe in English. I'm not quite sure. So this is normally wasted because farmers either don't know the value in these honey waters, or they just don't know where to store it, and how to give, like, put it back on the soil. So, for example, the idea is to share a training on, or design also like a prototype of a storing place to put the honey waters inside, and then give it back to the soil. So changing this mindset of waste into inputs, into things that like actually help the soil and help the nutrients. So that's on that side. And I guess these just small examples is to give an idea of what's the program intended to do when I talk about practical tools. In terms of mitigation, I think it's the most important part of the program in my idea, which I also feel we've, we have so much to learn from these communities as well, because they are in living in nature, and they live from it, and they learn from it, and they're in constant communication with it. So part of the program is to rescue this knowledge, to understand what are they already doing that could be done maybe a bit more structured, a bit more repetitive, and of course amplify these voices, right? So on a personal level, I guess this is relevant. I am from Mexico, and that's why I have this interest. I've gotten the opportunity in my past to visit these remote communities in my country. Most of them are indigenous, from indigenous backgrounds, and they have such a close and strong relation to nature, that I believe there's so much to rescue from it, and learn from it. And of course, I guess this program is a bit of that intention, to go and learn from it, and also share some tools that could be used for it. So the idea is to as well amplify the voices. So not only go and learn, but also understand what they're doing, and share it with the outside world, right? So I guess, yeah, we all take a coffee cup every morning, but we don't really understand um, that this is coming from a crop, that this is coming from a family that every day goes to the land, works the land, and what's happening with that family, right? So I guess the program is also, there's an intention to rescue these stories, to raise awareness with what coffee we're consuming and how are we consuming it, because as I mentioned, it's the second biggest commodity in the world, and the farmers are still stuck in a cycle of poverty. So we need to also raise awareness as consumers, and make sure that our coffee cup of every day is coming from the right sources, and it's giving the farmers what they deserve. I've always thought that farmers around the world give us so much, well, the food in our plates every day, and I don't feel they receive that much back. So this is a small attempt to regain that balance. I don't know if I went in circles, but I guess it's difficult to talk to myself. And I would love to share my findings and my learnings once this program is executed. So the intention is to start with coffee, but and it's gonna be piloted in communities in Oaxaca, but also on a long term would be ideal to replicate this type of, of training around different food systems. So thank you very much. I am very excited to hear to all the other projects, and please reach out if you have any comments, ideas, questions, or if you want to learn a bit more. More than happy to share always. And yeah, that's it. Bye bye.